What's up, people? So we got another very great chapter of One Piece. One Piece even makes the cover page of Shonen Jump, and then we also get this football-themed color spread. If you notice the jerseys, the numbers on each of the jerseys of the Straw Hats represent their birthdays. So like Nami was born on July 3rd, so that's why she has the 7-3, and so that's the pattern there. I did notice that characters like Chopper and Zoro was born in November and Chopper was born on December 24th. So instead of having like 12/24, he only has the 24. I also noticed that I think Robin and Brooke and Usopp are in the background. I actually think Usopp is the one wearing the knight's armor. And if you notice, the way that the teams are split are actually the way that they join the crew. So the first people to join the crew are in the monkey team, and the people who join in later are in the bison team. At least that's the way I think it's organized. And this is kind of cool because it just kind of leads into something that I really want to talk about. This chapter kind of indirectly hypes up Usopp. I don't know if you noticed this by the revelation, small revelation, that Elbaf is like the strongest country in the One Piece verse. I mean, you know your kingdom is hyped up when you got Big Mama, when you have a Yonko almost crying over the fact that she's gonna be able to make an alliance with you. Even Chiffon, Capone's wife, says, "All right, if that alliance obviously it didn't happen, but if it had taken place, she says we'd gain access to the strongest country in the world and its famed army." Now, this is why I think it hypes up Usopp indirectly. But before I mention that, I just want to go back to Arlong Park because this is Oda's foreshadowing at work. Do you remember the walk to Arlong Park where Luffy and the rest are like actually deciding to help Nami out, and they're marching over to beat Arlong and his henchmen, his subordinates? Now, I'm not saying that the Bison team, the people who joined in later, is any less important than these four, but these are the first four for a reason. So when they're walking over to Arlong, Oda made it a point. He specifically made an effort to signal these four guys out and states in the manga, in the anime, remember the faces of these four, all right? They've come to change the future. And so that's Oda's foreshadowing at work. And you can see how this is beginning to think like they each have like an island to them in the new world. Sanji was Whole Cake. That's where he's getting his time to shine. It's not over yet. We'll see what happens with him. We know that moving forward, Wano is probably going to go to Zoro. That's where he's going to get his shine. So Zoro is Wano, Usopp is Elbaf because he's just wanting to go. He admires the giants, and that's the thing too. We always knew that Usopp wanted to be a brave warrior of the sea, but we didn't really know what that meant. And now it's becoming, now that that's kind of linked to the giants, and we kind of had that suspicion ever since Little Garden, but now it's kind of like, whoa, you really want to put in the work. This is some like top tier kingdom that Usopp is admiring. The strongest country in the One Piece world. Like even Big Mom told Luffy, right? If that marriage with Lola had gone through, I would have been Pirate King. No doubt about it, all right? So they must have some, not only a fierce army, I'm guessing they have some type of ancient weapon. You gotta be top tier to get a Yonko hyped up, all right? So again, just backtracking a little bit. Whole Cake Island goes to Sanji, Wano goes to Zoro, Elbaf goes to Usopp, and Raftel goes to Luffy, although technically Luffy is the main character, so he'll get some shine throughout all of these islands. So this chapter was Elbaf hype all over the place. Now if you notice, giants have been a pretty big part of the story like ever since its early stages. For example, we know the Marines have giants in their ranks. Blackbeard, a Yonko, has actually a giant in his crew, San Juan Wolf. We know of a D that was a giant, Jaguar D. Saul, the giant who saved Robin, who gave his life to save Robin. So, they've already been hyped up, and now with this, it's kind of like, okay, now it makes more sense. Also, there might be some Norse mythology involved in Elbaf, because we know that the prince's name is Loki. On some Avengers type shit, So yeah, hopefully we'll get to see some of that mythology explored once we get to Elbaf. Maybe we'll have, like, Odin and Thor there as well. No, but, I love the fact that this is being presented to us, the reader, while Nami is taking a bath. What a luscious woman. And Oda doesn't do fan service all that much, but when he does it, it's a breath of fresh air. Nami's just such a great example of the beauty of the female anime physique. Yeah, I love those panels, man. But anyway, leaving my perversion aside, Chiffon would get abused by Big Mom because she looked way too much like Lola, which kind of makes Big Mom seem a lot darker than I thought she would. Like, she would abuse the crap out of her own daughter. That's kind of... I'm not really sure why, like, Chiffon didn't just, like, escape. Why didn't she leave Whole Cake Island? Maybe because she would be killed. But then Lola did the same thing. And she had a tougher involvement there. And then they also, like, managed, or at least they were trying to lie and say, hey, Chiffon is Lola. But then they found out, and they were like, screw this. We hate you, Big Mom. So that makes sense as to why there are no giants in Whole Cake Island. And that also kind of explains, you know, something that I suspected, which is that Lola isn't really aware of how other people perceive her. Because I don't think she has any idea that if she were to show up back in Whole Cake, Big Mom would have her killed. Therefore, that explains why she would give Nami the Vivre card and say, hey, take this Vivre card. My mom will help you in the new world. No, Lola. That explains why Chiffon doesn't really care about Capone trying to take down Big Mom. In fact, I think she actually kind of supports it in a way. She's just like, whatever. She's not a parent to me. She's an abusive fuck. All right. So that being said, where's Pound? You know, Pound is the father of Lola and Chiffon. You know, the ex-husband of Big Mom. I don't remember what happened to him. I guess we'll see. But in the beginning, there is like this scene where we kind of suspect that Peckham's is going to be the snitch, and he's going to be the one to alert Big Mom to the conspiracy that Capone has planned. Initially, I thought it was going to be Bobbins. I thought Bobbins was going to wake up and he was going to sound the alarm, especially because he has like a sound-related devil fruit power. But I think it's going to be Peckham's because he doesn't trust any of these people anymore. By the end, he's like, what are you guys like? What are you guys plotting? There's something going on here. And he says, like in the beginning, like there were some people coming in with some cargo. Who were those people? Also, I'm curious if the reason for why Oda decided to introduce the fact that Chiffon doesn't really like Big Mom. I'm wondering if he's using that as a springboard to say, I mean, Chiffon's not the only one. Like, I wonder if there are other kids that really don't like to be under Big Mom and are actually planning to rebel against her alongside Capone. Because remember, like, Pudding seems to be following her orders, but she did mention that, yeah, she's getting kind of annoying. Like, Big Mom is getting on my nerves. I also really love the Mafia gangster theme throughout this chapter. I liked the fire tank hideout, the way that it looks. Luffy and Brook use some milk to heal up. Luffy gets his tooth back and Brook gets the crack healed. And it's funny because Luffy says, oh, I think I lost a tooth somewhere along the way. He doesn't even remember the fact that Sanji was the one to knock it out. I thought that was really funny. And obviously they get dressed for the wedding. Luffy's wearing like a hat over his straw hat. I like the fact that when we see them, you know, meet Capone for the first time, Luffy is in the center, and then at his side is Nami. Capone's like,
Sanji, Vinsmoke, you're right. I can't kill you. I can't do it, my boy. Straw Hat, have you met my boy Gastino?
I mean, because Gastino will hook you up with some mad weapons of mass destruction. Like he did in Punk Hazard. Remember that? Ho ho. And I gotta say, if you saw Caesar in last week's chapter and you thought it was him, you predicted it was him, congratulations. I did think it looked like him, but I actually said no, I don't think that's him. But it is. He changed his do. He got spiky hair now, and he's Mr. Gastino. He was strolling hard in this chapter. He's like, yeah, I'm this brand new character, but I still have the gloves that say CC. Come on, dude. Like, oh man, Caesar, what a troll. But we got the gang back together, both literally and metaphorically, I guess. And Luffy's like, okay, I'll join you, Capone. And I like how Jinbei is like, Luffy, you have a pretty good judge of character. Do you want to join with this guy? Luffy's like, okay, sure. But first, let me punch you for beating up Pekka. It's like, no. And then like everybody starts like, you know, messing around the table. Like, okay, stop it. All right? We got 3 hours and 20 minutes. There's actually a timer now. And I believe the last time we had a timer was when the birdcage was closing in on Dressrosa. And the time before that was when we were going to save Ace. So you know whenever Oda has the timer for something, things are going to get hyped. So I like the discussion. I like how Caesar was brought in. The pacing is going super freaking fast. All right? Because otherwise Oda would have dedicated a chapter to bringing Caesar back. But it's like immediately, it's like he gets a flashback. Capone has my heart. I'm here. Let's put our differences aside and get this show on the road, boys. Now, Capone has been planning this takeover for a while. And so here's my prediction, all right? If in next chapter, we get to see what the plan is, if we hear Capone explain the plan, then my prediction is that the plan is going to fail, all right? If we don't hear the plan, if we just jump into the wedding, or at least, jump into a closer time that is near the wedding's beginning, then that means that we didn't get to learn the plan, and the plan is going to be successful. And there's a very basic reason for that. As a writer, all right, it's mainly your job to play with the reader's expectations. So if we get the plan from Capone, it doesn't make a lot of sense for it to go right, because then what's the mystery? What's the plot twist? There isn't one. It just goes according to plan, and there's nothing really there to be excited about. I mean, there are some things to be excited about, but that's not a good writing technique. To tell your reader what you're going to do, and then you end up doing it, and there's no surprises. So again, if we get the plan is going to go wrong. If we don't get the plan is going to be successful. Mark my words, because then if we don't get the plan, we'll be surprised anyway, because we don't know what the plan is. And actually, I don't know if you noticed this, but there was a bit of a change in terms of Luffy's character, because by the end, he's asking Capone, so what's the plan? I'm like, since when does Luffy care about plans? Also, in the beginning, he was actually being the voice of reason, acting kind of mature when Chopper was telling him, go take a bath. Luffy was freaking out, like, what? No, there are more important things that we have to deal with. And since when do you like baths? I thought that behavior was kind of interesting for Luffy. But maybe Oda just wants him to mature a little bit. And what better way to get him to mature than going up against a Yonko and knowing that he has to be more responsible and serious. Anyway, this was a hype chapter. Get on the hype train, boys, because we ain't stopping. Not until we leave for Wano, and then that's going to be even more hype. So, yeah, that's the way Oda does it. Quality, back-to-back, almost near the end of every single arc. Thank you for watching. Like the video if you did. I appreciate those thumbs up. I really do. Subscribe if you haven't. And comment down below with your thoughts. Thank you. Catch you later.